Welcome to the show. My name is Charlton with Big C. This is Charlton and Big C Sports coming to you worldwide on the Big C Sports Network, the number one network in the United States of America. And Big C Sports has been voted the number one sports show in the universe, according to Big C and them good old boys down south. I want to say bienvenidos to all of our listeners in Latin America, also across the pond in London, England, as well as Paris, France. You know, I got to say a shout out to the Big C tribe in Africa listening in from the pyramids in Giza. Also a Big C, you know we love the good old boys in Canada, but there's still no one we love more than you good old boys down south in the land of the free and the home of the brave. Big C, how's it going for all you good old boys down south? Yeah. Yeah.
You know, we can send this cold weather out there and have you
Hey, well, we would love it because I'm telling you, Mother Nature is playing a trick on everybody. I think Halloween is just a couple days away next week, I believe, and now we have 100-degree temperatures in California, and still raining down south where you good old boys are. Thank goodness, I think most of the fires are out in Napa, and we're done with the hurricanes. I hope at least down south along the coast. So I do want to say today is a beautiful October the 24th. 2017 in the land of the free and the home of the brave. And Big C, what we love so much about the sports business is I got to pay respect to a lot of my broadcast brethren, because sometimes we all learn a little bit from each other. But it's nice when you hear something from somebody, you give credit to them. You give some credit to them. But I do want to say I heard some good old boys talking on the mothership this morning. I'm going to call out some names. There was Stephen A. Smith, there was Dan Quinn, Richard Sherman, and a couple other athletes that they had. And Dan Quinn said, Google it, just Google it. And I think they've been trying to steal your flow, Big C. Your thoughts?
It's amazing how many people listen to us and don't pay homage to us.
Yeah.
All of a sudden it becomes their thoughtful ideas.
Yeah.
But, we are originators and authenticators as far as what we do. We don't hold back. We're not scared. Matter of fact, I heard, a couple guys today
Yeah.
talking about, I work with the network, so I can't criticize the network. And I can't criticize the program that they asked us to not talk about.
Yeah.
And so, it's become so capitalized as far as what's being said.
Yeah.
That you can't be sensitive, okay?
Yeah.
You can't. If you're doing something, you got to be honest with the public.
Yep.
Don't sit here and say that they're sycophants and dumb about what's going on. It's like I praised a couple senators today, Charles.
Yeah.
Republican senators who stood up and said, enough is enough of the childishness that's running our country.
Yep.
We deserve more respect and knowledge from the Oval Office.
Yeah.
Is that we can't be running a daycare center and have someone self-serving their own agendas.
Yeah.
The president had done.
Yeah.
And not create any agenda of his own.
Yeah.
Because here it is, Charlton. We're in October. 11 months since the election of the president, okay?
Yeah.
And we have no major legislation that has been done. And even his base has to sit there and look and say, well, he's turned back all these Obama regulations. Okay, this is Obama. He couldn't turn back Obamacare.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the Interior Secretary, who is from Montana, okay?
Yeah.
He awarded a contract to an electrical company to rebuild the power grid in Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
It's called Whitefish Power.
Yeah.
Google it, okay?
Yeah.
Google Whitefish Power.
Yeah.
Whitefish Power received a $300 million contract.
Wow.
To redo the power grid in Puerto Rico 5 weeks after the hurricane has hit down there.
Yeah.
When they were awarded the contract, Whitefish Power had 2 employees, okay?
Yeah.
2 employees. And the Interior Secretary is from Montana.
Yeah.
Somebody got to connect the dots right there. You got a company with 2 employees that's supposed to rebuild the power grid of an entire nation,
Yep.
country down in Puerto Rico, and they have 2 employees.
It's not something, Big C. Sometimes the math just does not add up. I do want to say today's segment is sponsored by your Northern California Cadillac dealers, home of the all-new Cadillac Escalade, the standard of the world. And when you go by and test drive yours, tell them Big C sent you. Big C, there's one thing I do have to say about you guys that drive those Escalades. When they have a line parked they have a parking lots, they have these lines where cars can park in them. It doesn't mean you park on top of the line. Big C, why do you guys do that? Yeah.
I might learn about that sometime down the future. But the wonderful thing about having a money car, even if you park in the farthest,
Yep.
obscure parking place,
Yeah.
somebody will find a reason to park.
Yeah.
There's nothing more than to look at your car. So I've always tried to figure that out. Is that you park 10 spaces away,
Yeah.
and you come out and there's a car right adjacent to yours.
Yep.
And you're trying to figure out what was the reason for this person needing to pull next to you.
Yep.
And that's the reason why we started taking up 2 spaces. Because
That.
But when you come out and you got 3 dents in your door, and you don't even know the people. I can understand if it was an ex being disgruntled.
Yep. Yeah.
This is somebody you don't even know.
That's something funny. I think that's what happened to Tiger Woods when he had the window broken out of his Escalade because he was double parked. Big C, if you understand my drift, I do want to say a lot of good things happening in the world of baseball out here in Los Angeles, Southern California. All the eyes are on the Dodgers and the Astros, and that game started early about 4:00. But I just want to get your thoughts, Big C, on it's great for the city of Houston. We know it's great for the city of Houston because of all the hurricanes they've had and all the damage with the flooding that went on down in the great state of Texas. And then for California, even though the fires are out here, they've been up in Northern California. But I just think that the LA basin hasn't had a World Series there and for Los Angeles since the Dodgers and the A's back in the day, even though they had the Angels and the Giants back in the 2000s with the Dusty Baker was leading the Giants, but that was down in Anaheim. Just your thoughts on what it means to have this series with great pitchers going on at the mound tonight, Big C. Your thoughts?
Well, Charlton, you think about 2 regions with devastating physical disasters, natural disasters, Charlton. Houston with the hurricane and floods. And you think about the fire devastation that has swept through California, not just Northern California, Charlton, but also Southern California was hit in Hollywood Hills.
Yeah.
So, this has been devastation alley when you think about these 2 teams. You got 2 great pitchers in Keuchel and Kershaw. The double Ks are going tonight on the mound.
Yeah.
Two lefties, Charlton, hurling tonight. Kershaw, has been a tremendous pitcher. He's Hall of Fame caliber throughout his career.
Yeah.
Keuchel is building that resume where he can get to that point, Charlton.
Yep.
But you also look at the tail of these 2 teams, Charlton. This is the first time since 1970 that 2 100-win teams have made it to the World Series.
Wow.
Baseball, the best of the best, is on stage.
Yeah.
And it's 100-degree temperature. People say, isn't that going to harm the players? Well, I don't know that July and August is that far removed from October, Charlton.
Yeah, that's true.
When everybody was playing in 100-degree heat, and you think about Los Angeles and Houston, between the dry heat of Los Angeles and the humidity of Houston, both of these teams were well accustomed to that, Charlton, during the regular season. I think it's all about the bats. Houston has been on a tirade hitting the ball during the postseason.
Yeah.
The Dodgers eliminated their first 6 games, Charlton. They just swept through them.
Yeah.
They had a little bit of struggle with the Cubs, but their first 6 games, they just swept through the teams that everybody said that dominated them during the regular season, and they would have trouble with them.
Yeah.
When these bats are hot, Charlton, and the Dodgers have the advantage because they opened up the series with the first 2 games at home.
Yeah.
Nothing's better than home cooking.
Yep.
With those electrifying fans and Dodgers in Los Angeles for the first time since 1988.
Yeah.
This is going to be one exciting series.
Well, I tell you, Big C, one of the things that I look forward to is I know the last time the Dodgers were actually in the World Series, they had the great Tom Lasorda who ate all the pasta out of the restaurants in L.A. and people couldn't find pasta down there to eat. But they stacked up on pasta with Tom Lasorda coming to town. But, the great thing about the Dodgers to me is not just the history of them leaving the East Coast and coming west. And I think about the time when they started playing baseball. I think it was 1958 was the first time they started playing baseball in California. But I look at the fact that they have this young kid who reminds me so much of Barry Bonds. And when he comes to the plate, Yasiel Puig, everybody wants to watch this guy bat because he's a lightning rod when he has a bat in his hand. But Big C, just to talk about how he got to this game, because he came from, I think he's from Latin America, and they had some type of kidnapping issues where he actually was able to get away and found himself playing Major League Baseball. Now he's on the biggest stage in the universe when it comes to Major League Baseball. Big C, your thoughts on Yasiel Puig?
Yasiel is affected from Cuban, Charlton, when
Yeah.
He escaped from, his team.
Yeah.
And sought asylum. Everyone knew he was one of the greatest young talents in baseball.
Yep.
And there was a bidding war between the Dodgers and the Yankees.
Yeah.
He wanted to come to Southern California because of the large Hispanic population. He felt that he would fit in there better because there were people that spoke his language.
Yeah.
And he, he took some time to adjust to the Major League, Charlton. He had a lot of problems in the first 2 years of his career.
Yeah.
But he has kind of grown up and figured things out. That, you get a lot of money, and it's not untypical, Charlton, of young athletes who get a lot of money to go awry, and also to be a refugee in a country.
Yeah.
And not have the knowledge of that country. You just sort of do everything.
Yeah.
And when people recognize it, you don't understand what's not right and what's not wrong.
Yep.
But Yasiel has developed into one of the brightest stars at the plate and on the field in the major leagues. And so this is going to be a huge challenge for him, Charlton. But I like the Dodgers organization overall.
Yeah.
When you think about it, the Dodgers introduced African Americans to Major League Baseball, okay, with Jackie Robinson.
Yep.
Coming into Major League Baseball back in the 40s.
Yeah.
All right? A tremendous attribute. When they were in Los Angeles when they originally came,
Yeah.
they were the first team, Charlton. They won a World Series with they have an African American pitcher and catcher. Okay,
That's good knowledge.
And Newcomb,
Yeah.
on the mound and behind the plate, they were the first major league team to have an African American battery to win a World Series. Charlton, they even took it a step further.
Yeah.
Magic Johnson is the first African American ownership in Major League Baseball.
Wow.
Ownership of the Dodgers. So when you think about how innovative and in the forefront the Dodgers organization has been over the decades in baseball to be the first African American player in.
Yeah.
They have the first African American pitcher and catcher in a starring role winning a World Series, and now the first African American partial ownership to get back to a World Series, Charlton.
Big C, that's a very good point that you bring that up. And something I also want to bring up, you talked about Jackie Robinson and how instrumental he was to baseball. And I know maybe I'm just partial because I am an African American. I always liked how last year the Super Bowl honored some of the African American players from, that came in from the SWAC conferences, from the historically black colleges that have been kind of written off when it comes to television anyway. I think a lot of the stations will put on high school football before they put on even some of the historical black college football programs. When it comes to the Negro Leagues, and I look at how it's been, torn down basically by money and getting some of the best players out of the Negro Leagues to play in the Major League Baseball, and that goes back to Branch Ritchie. But Curt Flood is the reason that we have athletes making $600 million, it seems, or at least $200 million in their contracts, because he sued Major League Baseball for the right for these guys to have $100 million contracts. Basically, you think they'll even acknowledge him and what he's meant for all of baseball, not just the African Americans, but everybody. Big C, your thoughts?
There's nothing less that Curt Flood needs to be in Baseball's Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
They talk about Pete Rose
Yep.
getting in because he's all-time hit leader amongst players
Yeah.
in history. Curt Flood created something in baseball that would never go away.
Yeah.
That has revolutionized the game, Charlton, called free, not just baseball, but all professional
Yeah.
sports.
Yeah.
Curt Flood, an African-American shortstop with the St. Louis Cardinals,
Yeah.
took Major League Baseball to task on antitrust, saying that they had collusion and stopping players from free movement. He won that case, Charlton, in the Supreme Court and gave up his career a la Colin
Kaepernick, yeah.
because he stood up for the rights of others.
Yeah.
This is something that white society has never liked, that you have an African-American man
Yeah.
standing up for the rights of others. Dr. Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Charlton.
Yeah.
Amongst others, Harriet Tubman in history.
Yeah.
Booker T. Washington, William E. Du Bois. We've had African-Americans who have stood up for the rights of others, and white society has ostracized and ruined and even killed them, Charlton, over time.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to share what's out there. They say it's ours. It's like when you think about the Constitution, Charlton.
Yeah.
The Constitution is written, we the people, of the people, for the people.
Yeah.
And people forget that opening line of the Constitution.
Yep.
Saying it's a great document.
Yeah.
But when that document was written, only white men were considered the people of the United States.
Yep. Yeah.
Not white women, not African Americans, not Native Americans, not Hispanic.
Yeah.
And so when people have challenged that, and they even challenge it today, when they Second Amendment rights, if you read the Second Amendment in totality, Charlton, you'll see where it was built to keep slaves intact when they could not run away.
Yeah.
Not to defend yourself, okay? It was to protect against your slaves running away.
Yeah.
That was for. You know, like the First Amendment right for speech, freedom of speech.
Yep.
Who had the right to speak at that time? Only white men. So when everybody else speaks against it, all of a sudden you're against the flag, you're against the military.
Yeah, yeah.
That's how it's put about. And it's just like in sports with Kurt Flood.
Yeah.
When he took this stance, saying that we have the right for free movement of employment, just like anybody else in America. You couldn't stop somebody at that time from leaving Shell Oil Company, going to Chevron Oil Company, Charlton.
Yeah.
They had the right to do that because these were generally white executives. You couldn't stop somebody from going from Philip Morris cigarette company, okay,
Yeah.
to another cigarette company because these were white Americans. You couldn't stop someone from going to GM, to Ford. White American executives had the freedom of movement.
And yep.
African American athletes, as well as all athletes, wanted that opportunity. And once it was given to them, Charlton,
Yeah.
they took and married the one African American athlete who made it accessible for everyone. Charlton.
And I gotta bring this up because I just heard about it last night. You know, a lot of things have been happening in the world of men and women and how men and women interact with each other. You talk about Curt Flood, how he stood up for all athletes to make more money, and they ostracized him from Major League Baseball. I contrast that with Bill O'Reilly with Fox News. And that knucklehead had I think he paid out $32 million to keep somebody quiet after the sexual assault allegations. I'm shocked that President Trump hasn't said anything about women in the workforce. Now just think about this. O'Reilly got invited back on Sean Hannity's program, okay? That knucklehead brings on a sexual predator to talk to the American people again as if it's okay with them. Because he consents to it. He and Sean Hannity, they're all one and the same. Now, Curt Flood speaks up for all athletes to get more money in baseball, gets barred from baseball. You know, they got rid of him. They admonished him. Whatever they did, they ostracized him. But here's Bill O'Reilly back on the Fox network, and knucklehead Sean Hannity saying, would you come back again, sexual predator? Now there are more women coming out of the woodwork because this man has been a bad guy for a long time. But because he's white, he kept his job, and Fox gave him $25 million to walk away, even though he paid out $32 million because he knew he was guilty. Big C, your thoughts on the hypocritical ways of sports and politics? Your thoughts?
Charlton, that was the culture of Fox News, okay? Led by Roger Ailes, who was the lead molester in that organization.
Yeah.
And Bill O'Reilly was his henchman. And you got to think that Sean Hannity is cognizant of this, if he was not willing to participate.
He had him back on the show.
I mean, the mayor of Fox, which were the advocates of Donald Trump, and you know, we know that he's been a sexual predator throughout his life.
His own words.
You know, this was the culture of that broadcast company, Charlton.
Yeah.
And to bring this predator back on the air, he may not have a job there, but you allow him back in your studio.
Isn't that something? That's gross.
Still advocating his position.
Yeah.
And then, you know, he is coming out saying, well, my settlement with these women were supposed to be hush-hush. They were not supposed to speak about it.
Yeah.
You know, that's a breach of the clause.
Yeah.
Okay, you're a sexual predator, and you want people to keep it a secret. That's been the problem. And Joe Paterno.
Yeah.
Let's keep this sexual predator a secret, but he can still keep his job.
Yep.
We just won't let people know what he's doing to the young boys in the camp.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So this has been the hush-hush mentality of white society, Charlton. Let's cover up for our sexual predator, okay?
Yeah.
We don't want the neighbors to know what he does.
Yep.
Okay? Because we don't want them to think that their kids like Bill because he's only doing the kids down the street.
Isn't that a shame?
He's not molesting the women down the street. He's not going to molest the neighbor. This is the mentality that Fox News has, Charlton.
So let me ask you this question, and we'll get back on some sports, but it's all the same because a lot of these guys go to all the sports games down in L.A. You would see O'Reilly and you would see, you know, Weinstein, some of these other knuckleheads, after they assault women and make women feel like they got to have sex in order to have a job, which is so reprehensible, but they still get on the air. So I just want to get your thoughts on how wicked Sean Hannity is for any woman that comes across his path. You put a sexual predator on the air and you say, will you please come back? Who in the hell is he talking to, Big C? Your thoughts on that? What a joke. Yeah.
We've all heard the Access Hollywood tapes as well as other tapes and sayings from Donald Trump how he treats women.
Yeah.
That he has no sense of class or
None.
or caring for them, Trump.
No.
Bill O'Reilly was the same way.
Isn't that a joke?
Large national audience in front of millions of people. And so you got to think about the women who were willing to sit there and consciously listen to
Yeah.
Bill O'Reilly and Sean Hannity
Yeah.
and being comfortable listening to a known sex offender.
Yeah.
Think about, this is the mentality of the Republican base.
Yeah.
Is that you're comfortable having sex offenders around and say, I want to hear.
Yeah.
Let me bring my daughter in here and let her hear also, okay?
Yeah.
Matter of fact, invite him over for dinner and tell him, we're going to go outside, you stay in here with your daughter, and we'll be back in a couple hours. And see what happens.
I just think for all women, because we know that sexual assault happens like every 20 seconds supposedly, which is a shocking number. But to have someone like Fox News or Sean Hannity or Bill O'Reilly or Weinstein, and I'm speaking to any woman. I know there's some women, they don't care what happens to them or their daughters. They'll just close their eyes and pretend it didn't happen. But for the women that have just an ounce of dignity, why would you have a sexual predator, a guy who's paid over $32 million to have a woman not tell?
He's paid over $100 million in sexual lawsuits while he was employed at Fox. And who knows what he paid while he was at other networks, the reason why they let him go.
That's true.
This wasn't his first act while
Yeah.
he was at Fox.
Yeah.
He paid out the $100 million that he had paid out to seven different women, actually.
Yeah.
Okay? He had been with all the other broadcast networks.
Yeah.
There was a reason why they let Bill O'Reilly go. And
Yeah.
they had some clause in the contract that it won't be spoken about. But I guarantee you, Bill O'Reilly's behavior just didn't start when he got to Fox being a sexual predator, okay? It happened with ABC, NBC, and CBS while he was with those companies, Charlton, and even CNN. Everybody let Bill O'Reilly go for some reason. It wasn't because he wasn't a good journalist. It was because of his actions as a person.
And for every woman out there that's looking for work and employment, you should never have to have intercourse with some gross pig in order to keep your job. Imagine if men had to do that. Imagine if men had to sleep with Weinsdorf and also O'Reilly and all those knuckleheads. Imagine if Donald Trump was grabbing men by the crotch saying, if you want to be at my administration, you got to shut up. Because that's a sickness and we got to shout it out, and we're not afraid to shout it out. No woman should have to put up with that garbage. I see why Megyn Kelly left. I'm sad that she even had to put up with it for the time that she did. But I do want to say we'll keep you safe on the Big C Sports Show, and that sports is a billion-dollar industry. And boys and girls sports is the foundation to this billion-dollar industry. And for every sporting event, you need the athletic and event insurance. We work with Ben and Mark. They've been around half a century. They work with Big C Sports. And if you're a pro athlete, a collegiate team, or a high school team, even your mom and pop soccer leagues, let them know that Big C sent you. Big C, I want to touch on a little bit, too, because we have the World Series going on, and a lot of people watching that. I just want to go back into a little bit of what's happened with the thing with Janet Jackson and Justin Timberlake, because the Super Bowl is talking about having Timberlake back. And I want to say it's right in line with what's happening with this Fox culture. They're bringing Timberlake back for ripping off the bra of a woman on the stage in front of the millions of people around the world that watch the Super Bowl. They haven't extended the olive branch to Janet, who had been, she was the victim of that. They tried to blame her for a man grabbing her top and exposing her breast to the world. Now imagine if someone did that in the workforce. For anyone who's justifying that, imagine some guy going into the workforce tomorrow, looking at a woman and grabbing her top and pulling it off so you can see her breast exposed, and the woman gets it minus. Big C, is it just me or is the world a little bit backwards, Big C? Your thoughts on that? Yep. Yep. Yep.
And probably also criminal charges brought by to him against a local district attorney.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
For on-stage molestation. This is how it would have been looking if Justin Timberlake had been black and Janet Jackson had been white.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
There's a double standard on societal roles. Justin Timberlake has been brought back with open arms. Tremendous entertainer.
Yeah.
I love watching him perform.
Yeah.
Janet Jackson is one of the greatest female entertainers of all time in America. Okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
But she has been banished, even though they say she hasn't been banned from the NFL halftime games. She has, Charlton, because she's never gotten an invite again.
Yep.
Everybody else has been re-invited. She has not, Charlton.
Yeah.
Justin Timberlake is back. And going back with gusto.
Yeah.
But Janet Jackson, everybody is still talking about her, not him.
Yeah.
We're talking about her. I didn't see her grab her top and tear it open, Charlton. I didn't see that.
No.
Whether this was staged or not orchestrated, Charlton, his hand was the one who removed the garment.
Yeah.
It wasn't Janet Jackson's hand. It was Justin Timberlake's hand.
Yeah.
But yet America and the NFL and everybody else embraces Justin Timberlake.
Yeah.
This is the same thing that a judge said. And not only that, the Vice President, Mike Pence, he said if a woman goes out and have a drink, that she will attack a man and she makes herself available. This is why rape occurs in America at such a rapid rate.
Wow.
This is what our stupid Vice President said. If a woman has a drink, she's opening herself up to be raped.
That's
this is our president.
Yeah.
This is the guy who was number 2 behind the molester. Okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
These are the type of people who are running our country.
Yeah.
And that a woman cannot have a glass of wine, cannot have a beer, cannot have a
Wow.
cocktail, because now she's inviting rape.
That's a shame. I mean, I didn't even know that he had said that, but I'm not surprised. It's just a shame that so many people, they blame the woman for being assaulted. Imagine, who's it, Faith Hill, who sang with a really short skirt on one of the NFL promos to open up the game. I think it used to be Monday Night Football. So imagine if any of those athletes.
Well, look at the one they have now. It's Carrie Underwood.
Yeah.
You know, all of these girls are going, I mean, she's got laces down the side, so, you know, she has to put the diamonds on.
Yeah.
So when you look at what the NFL doing, it's perpetuating sexuality.
Yeah.
You got scantily clad women, the last 2 women who have talked about that. Not only that, the guy they had before that, you know, Hank Williams Jr.
Yeah.
He was a racist.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
He was a racist. And they brought him back, but they had to say, hey, you know, after you got so much backlash from people, they had to take him off and put the latest female on there.
Yeah.
NFL on Monday Night Football, what ESPN perpetuates
Yeah.
is the exploitation of sexuality of women.
Yep.
This is what they're doing. You don't see anyone in a long gown or even slacks, Charlton. You see them in the most scantily clad dress that they get in a male-dominated audience.
Yep.
So what are you pushing, okay?
Yeah.
Is ESPN now the Hugh Hefner of television?
I think they might be trying to, Big C. I got to bring up because sometimes Arsenio Hall back in the day used to say things that make you go, right? And because I read a lot, I run across things that I don't hear sometimes broadcast. So I contrast Steph Curry last night and how just this week, I guess he pulled his mouthpiece out of his mouth and threw it on the floor. And they're saying the most accurate shooter in the history of the NBA could not hit a referee, but he could hit a three-point basket from 30 and 40 feet out. If he wanted to throw it at the referee, I think he would have hit it, Big C, because they were only about 15 feet away. Here's a guy that can knock down three-pointers from outside the lines. If he wanted to hit the official, he could have hit the official. But that's what they labeled him with. Now, should he have thrown the mouthpiece? Maybe not. But was he throwing it at an official? I doubt if the most accurate shooter in the history of the league, the best shooter in the universe, was trying to hit an official from 15 feet away. I think he could have done it. Big C, do you see that maybe they're overreaching to try to say, we got to punish this guy because he's too good looking or because he's too good or he's such a goody two. So they got to find a way to say an exaggeration of the truth. Big C, am I stretching or what do you think about that statement? The floor.
He hurled his mouthpiece into the floor, just like a lot of people do when they have anguish.
Yep.
But to kick a guy out of the game for a mouthpiece incident, yet the profanities that are laid at officials and the threats that are thrown at him as well as to other players.
Yeah.
I mean, you get players get into fake scraps like James Harden did last night, like he didn't want to hit anybody. He looked like he was shadow boxing.
He had voice contact. Yeah.
You know, the NBA is the farm league. It's not the no farm league like
Yep.
the NFL. Okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
The NFL was trying to bring that back by letting players celebrate in the NBA. I mean, in the end zone after a touchdown.
Yeah.
But the NBA has always been about emotions, Charlton. You can go back 40 years and see the enthusiasm and the emotion of players on the court because you're always in such a close proximity.
Yeah.
And you get to see their faces and their emotions.
Yeah.
And so when you're foul going to the basket, I mean, if any player who's watching NBA game live or on television that have seen mystery fouls occur.
Yeah.
That you're 2 feet away from a player and the official call a foul because it's a certain player.
Yeah.
Steph Curry is almost like Cam Newton of the NBA, okay?
Yeah.
He gets hit all the time.
All the time.
They will split you like a star and you can score on anybody. We're going to let players slow you down however they have to. He was fouled going to the basket.
Yeah.
He was fouled of the body.
Yeah.
The official was in 12 feet of the play.
Yep.
Didn't make the call.
No,
But
that,
certain players get that call all the time, Charlton, going to the hoop.
yeah, I agree.
And they're bigger and stronger than Steph Curry.
Yeah.
But the officials neglected in making that call. So
Yeah.
It was something that had been manifesting. And the thing about officials is that they bring their human factor into it.
Yep.
All of a sudden, they're a person, and the player is not. And that's what we got to correct in all professional sports, football, basketball, baseball, hockey.
Yeah.
Is this human element. Is that only the official can be human and the player cannot.
I remember back in the day, Larry Bird at the Garden, he said, do you think the fans come to watch me drop 20 or 30 points, or to come see you to call fouls? And I just want to say, if you actually hit someone like Ron Artest went up and do the stands a couple of years ago and punch somebody, yeah, that's egregious. But to take your mouthpiece out and throw it on the ground, I've also seen guys pull their headbands off and throw it at the ground. He was not trying to hit an official. Let's just be real about that. He's too accurate to miss an official from 15 feet away when he can nail a three-pointer from 30 feet out. I just thought that was an egregious way for a penalty. I do want to touch on two more things. Last night, Monday Night Football, we saw what happened with the Philadelphia Eagles, and we had the Washington Redskins, two teams that are playing at the top of the NFC East. I still think Dallas is going to make a lot of noise as we come to the end of the season. Just your thoughts on the performance. One quarterback making $100 million, the other guys making what they call chump change, Big C. But the chump change won last night, Big C. Your thoughts?
We talked about this in last night's show about Kirk Cousins versus
Yeah. Carson Wentz. Yeah.
Kirk Cousins' single-season contract is worth more than Carson Wentz's total contract.
Yeah. Yeah.
The total contract in players. You think about Kirk Cousins, Charlton.
Yeah.
That was his sixth start on Monday Night Football.
Yeah.
When you think about GMs, watching, they can't watch all the games on Sunday.
No.
Okay?
No.
Because there's too many. But every GM watches the game on Monday night. All right.
Yeah.
Kirk Cousins has started 6 Monday night games. All right. In
Yep.
his career.
Yep.
He's 0-6.
How?
On the biggest stage, when you think about it, a guy that's making $25 million this season is 0-6.
Wow.
Against every quarterback that he has played against on Monday night.
Does Dan Snyder know these? Does Dan Snyder know that he's 0-6 and he's getting $100 million? Big C, your thoughts?
I'm trying to think if he's out there in San Francisco.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Because he knows that he's 0-6 on Monday night.
Wow.
And he's talking about opening up the vault for him, all right?
Yeah.
The guy is 0-6 on Monday night. The worst starting record of any quarterback.
Oh my! I'm gonna try out. I'm 0-6 too on Monday night. I'm trying out for the Redskins, Big C.
But everybody is saying, well, it's not his fault.
Yeah.
Okay, so whose fault is it?
Yeah. Yeah.
He's the one getting his team ready. He's the one taking the sacks. Who the hell's fault is it?
It's my fault.
In Carolina,
Hey.
this is going on. It's Zach Prescott's fault.
Yeah.
In Dallas, that this is going on. So it's Jameis Winston.
Yeah.
It's Tampa.
Yeah.
Look at Eli Manning, Charlton, and Kirk Cousins. Compare these two quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Eli Manning looks like he doesn't carry any longer. He has that Jay Cutler syndrome.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
That's what I'm seeing with Kirk Cousins. It looked like at times the game is too fast for him. Just like with Eli Manning. The NFL game today is too fast for Eli Manning. Eli Manning is a throwback dinosaur. Who's
Yeah.
immobile. Everybody else to blame everybody else around him. The offensive line, the receivers. No one blames Eli Manning that cannot run and can't deliver the ball.
And they can't blame Antonio Beckham right now because we know his injuries ended his season this year so far. So obviously, just a lot of things in sports that we talk about. I do want to close on two quick things real quick, Big C. If we look at Penn State and Michigan, we look at James Franklin and Jim Harbaugh, two great coaches in college football. But one guy's 18-3 in his last 21 games in Franklin. Harbaugh's 6-5 in his last 11 games. Is there more writing on the wall? And we'll talk more about it as we come up on college football kickoff on Friday's show. But just your thoughts real quick on 18-3 versus 6-5. One team has his team at top of the Big Ten. The other guy can't try to get things going, Big C. Your thoughts on Harbaugh and Franklin?
Well, Franklin has brought this Penn State program, Charlton, from the abyss. Okay?
Yeah.
The cupboards were bare.
Yeah.
Everybody brought Harbaugh in saying that he was going to be the savior of the program.
Yeah.
He's the second highest paid coach in college football, Charlton.
Wow.
But as you spoke about it, he's 6-5 in his 11
Yeah.
Now, 6-5 will get Butch Davis fired in Tennessee.
Yeah.
Jim McElwain fired in Florida.
Right.
Kevin Sumlin fired at
In Texas.
It got Charlie Strong fired in Texas.
Yep.
And many other places, Charlton, it'll get a coach fired. But no one is looking, and people don't understand that Jim
Yeah.
So he's just a barely above 500 coach.
Yeah. I think because his heart is not there. And I know you talked about it earlier, and I think more of you'll hear it more on national media. I think his heart, you can only stay in college so long. He's already had the success. Michigan's not going to win a national championship because it's just hard. You can lose 5 games in the NFL and still make the playoffs and get into the playoff in the Super Bowl picture. But you lose 5 games in one season in college football. You can't lose more than 2, really. You can lose 1.
Think
Yeah.
about this in the Big 10, 2013.
Big 19, yeah.
Paul Christmas, Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Undefeated.
Yep.
And one loss last year during the regular season.
Yeah.
Should have been in the playoffs. You got Franklin.
Yep.
Won the Big 10 title last year.
Yep.
Both of those coaches combined did not make the salary of a Jim Harbaugh, okay?
Yeah.
They probably make half of what he makes,
Yeah.
between the two of them.
Yeah.
Paul Chris and Franklin, these guys have nothing but quality and character in their program. They go under the radar. All
Yep.
they do is win.
Yeah.
They're not holding press conferences, Charlton.
No.
They're not flying around the country with their team trying to say, okay, I got to go down here to recruit better players.
Yep.
They take what they have in their neighborhood, Charlton.
Yeah.
And they take the vegetables and fruits that are in their own garden
Yeah.
and go in and make a meal with it.
Yeah.
A meal is very palatable and easy to understand.
Yeah.
Not too complex. It's just do things our way. And in this world of social media,
Yeah.
what do you hear about these two undefeated teams in the pack? What is it?
The Big 10 now, Big 19, Big 17.
In this world of social media,
Yeah.
what do you hear about these two teams in the Big 10? Nothing, Charles.
No.
Nothing.
No.
And you think about the run that they both had over the past 2 years.
Yeah.
Last year, Franklin was 11-3 as a coach.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
11-3 last year. And he went under the radar, even winning the conference championship.
Yeah.
Chris was right behind him, Charlton.
Yep.
But Ohio State and Michigan got all the publicity. So when we talk about top coaches in the country, Charlton,
Yeah.
you don't have to be on social media or television all the time.
Yep.
Just go to Happy Valley, okay?
Yeah.
And go to Madison, Wisconsin, and find 2 of the greatest coaches in America.
That's a very good point, Big C. So obviously game 1 of the World Series tonight in beautiful Los Angeles, California, Chavez Ravine. A lot of people in LA looking forward to it. Should be a great matchup. 2 of the best teams in baseball all year long. They both have their slumps, but it's like the teams that are supposed to be there based on winning, they're there. From Houston, the Astros, and from LA, the Dodgers. Should be great baseball. Big C, back in the day, there was a man by the name of Drew Bondini Brown. He was Muhammad Ali's right-hand man. He would always tell Ali, with all you got to use, how can you lose? Rumble, young men rumble. Big C, what are you looking forward to in the sports universe?
What I'm looking forward to in the sports universe is the day that these networks will take the microphone out of Lorenzo Ball's face. Okay?
Yeah, yeah.
Every game that his son plays, he's holding a press conference. Now, I can't think of any dad in America that doesn't love his son.
Right,
okay?
right.
I can't think of any mother in America that doesn't love their son. But for you to have to go out and hold a press conference after every game and put a target on your son,
Yeah,
the focus should be on the kid playing basketball,
yeah,
not the dad after the game. This is the stupidity of this broadcast company and world that we live in, Charlton.
yeah,
Is that they're so desperate and have lack of journalism knowledge.
yeah,
Is that they're seeking out some buffoon to come out there and hold an improv press conference that has nothing to do with the game.
Yeah.
You're trying to tell me that Luke Walton can't speak articulately about the game and his players, Charlton?
yeah. I tell you, Big C, all you got to do is Google that. Those good old boys that did our skit, Big C. You can also Google it every Monday through Friday at 5 and 6 p.m. worldwide. Follow Big C Sports on the Big C Sports Network, the #1 network in the United States of America. And Big C Sports has been voted the #1 sports show in the universe, according to Big C and them good old boys down south. We want to tell you, there's never, especially for Fox News, there's never ever an excuse for domestic violence or sexual assault. If you're a woman and any man is assaulting you, please call 911. Don't listen to his apology. Call 911. He's going to beg you to forgive him. Just call 911 and let him talk to the police. As we always tell you on every Big C Sports show, we thank you, we appreciate you, and we hope that you have a super fantastic day.